The pause. What is a pause? It's the momentary stop or break from whatever it is you've been doing. Let's say it's a break in speaking for our purposes. People often think that a pause signifies something terribly amiss during our presentation or conversation. Did we forget what we were going to say? Are we drawing a blank? Are we slow? Pauses are actually an extremely useful tool in our speech arsenal. And if we examine the positive effects of pauses in our speech, we see that pauses serve a number of uses, including giving us time to breathe, giving us a chance to remember our next point, giving the audience a chance to digest what we've just said, giving the audience a chance to wake up and pay attention to our next point, and providing dramatic effect and emphasis. Pauses do something else as well. They can help us appear as though we're speaking extemporaneously, meaning off the top of our heads, thinking through what we're saying as we say it, even though we've really practiced and memorized our words specifically for our presentation, of course. And if we take this to the realm of interpersonal communication, that pause connotes that we're listening to the speaker and we're thinking before we respond. And if I've sold you, that's great. Pauses sound great, and they are. But when and how can they be bad? We know that too much of a good thing is bad for you, right? If you're going to pause, and you should, remember that the pause shouldn't last more than a second or two. Pause too long, and the audience may squirm, you may lose their attention, or they'll think you've just derailed your presentation. Deborah Tannen, a professor of linguistics at Georgetown University and author of numerous books on communication, has indicated that pauses and their relative length can be a cultural thing. For example, a conference call with people from New York will sound very different from a conference call with people from California. This is because people in New York tend to speak faster, and the slightest pause might indicate to others that the speaker is finished speaking and someone else may begin. Californians, however, may use slightly longer pauses in their speech, and a pause doesn't necessarily mean that they're done with their point. This means that if New Yorkers and Californians were on the same call, there could be confusion over when someone is finished speaking and the next person should begin speaking. I received a call recently, and the caller let dead silences hang in the air for minutes at a time. Ever the conversationalist and someone who likes to help people feel comfortable, I kept on thinking of things to say. But then I remembered that he called me. There must have been a reason for his call. So I let some of these long pauses just hang there, continue, thinking that perhaps he was just waiting for me to stop talking before he attempted to tell me something. Judy, shut up. And I waited, and I waited, and it was agonizingly awkward. Okay, so he finally did tell me something, and it must have been something very difficult for him to share with me. But whether it was good news or bad news, I was just so relieved he finally said something. The anticipation was killing me. So in summary, pauses can be a great tool for public presentations as well as intimate conversations. Timing, however, is everything.